When you look at a petrol and a diesel engine, at first glance they look really similar. And that makes sense because they're both internal combustion engines. They do their combustion internally, which means they have very similar anatomy. Both have a cylinder block, a cylinder head, camshafts, valves, pistons, a crankshaft, and connecting rods. The parts are nearly the same, but what's different is how they ignite the fuel. A more accurate way to describe them is spark ignition and compression ignition engines. All commercially available petrol engines are spark ignition engines. That means they have a spark plug in the combustion chamber. And what does a spark plug do? Well, it creates a spark. To do this, it needs a lot of voltage, usually over 20,000 volts, supplied by the car's ignition system. This high voltage ionizes the air-fuel mixture in the gap of the spark plug, turning it from an insulator into a conductor. This allows a current of electrons to jump across the gap, creating a tiny, intense burst of heat. This heat causes the surrounding gas to expand rapidly, starting a chain reaction called deflagration. Now, deflagration might sound like a weird word, but it just means the combustion happens subsonically. The first layer of hot gas transfers heat to the next cold layer, and so on until all the fuel is burned. From an engineering standpoint, this is great because it's even, controllable, and perfect for pushing a piston down. Now, let's see how a diesel engine does it. There are no spark plugs, no spark, and no ignition coils. A diesel engine ignites its fuel purely by compressing air. The air in a diesel is compressed to a much higher degree than in a petrol engine. And as we know, when you compress air, it gets hot. As the piston reaches the top of its stroke, the air gets so hot that it is able to ignite diesel fuel all by itself, the moment it's injected into the combustion chamber. This is why a diesel is called a compression ignition engine. The ignition comes from compression. The timing of fuel introduction is also completely different. A petrol engine introduces fuel early, during the intake stroke. The fuel and air are already nicely mixed before the spark plug fires. A diesel, on the other hand, injects fuel much later, during the compression stroke. The fuel can only be introduced when the air is hot enough to ignite it, which happens just before the piston hits the very top. This is why modern diesels almost always use direct injection, spraying fuel right into the combustion chamber. When a diesel injector fires, it sends a fine mist of fuel into the superhot, highly compressed air. As the droplets mix with the air, they start to vaporize. The piston keeps rising, making the air even hotter until it reaches the ignition temperature of the vaporized fuel. At this point, a rapid ignition of this premixed fuel and air occurs. The time between the start of injection and the start of ignition is called the ignition delay. This rapid ignition creates a sharp pressure spike in the cylinder, which is what causes that classic diesel knock or clatter. This initial phase is often called uncontrolled combustion because it can start in multiple places at once. As the injector keeps spraying fuel, the new fuel enters an already burning mixture. This makes it vaporize and burn almost instantly. This part of the process is called controlled combustion because the rate of burning can be controlled by the rate of injection. After injection stops, some leftover fuel molecules will continue to burn as the piston travels down. So, how do these differences affect how the engines behave? You can see a big one just by looking at the tachometer. Petrol and diesel engines have very different red lines. Most diesels rev to about 4,500 to 5,000 RPM. In contrast, petrol engines rev much higher, anywhere from 6,000 to even 9,000 RPM. This is a direct result of their different combustion processes. The slower, more deliberate burn in a diesel engine and its longer stroke make it excellent at producing torque at low RPMs, but it limits its high revving capability. The quick controlled deflagration in a petrol engine allows it to complete its combustion cycle much faster, enabling those higher engine speeds. So while they look similar on the outside, their internal workings create two engines with very different personalities. Now, there's three main reasons why diesels don't rev as high. First up, and the easiest to get, is that diesel engines are built tough. They need super heavy, beefy internals because they handle way higher combustion pressures than petrol engines. Think of it like a series of small, uncontrolled explosions happening inside. If the parts were flimsy, they'd just fall apart. But all that heavy metal has a price. It's harder to spin quickly, which naturally limits the max RPM. The second reason is that most diesels are undersquare by design. This means they have a much longer stroke compared to their bore. Now, this is great for making tons of torque right off the line, but that long travel for the piston also puts a cap on how fast the engine can spin. But the third and maybe most crucial reason is about ignition timing. A petrol engine has a spark plug that can be fired at pretty much any point during the compression stroke. This is called ignition advance, and it's key for making power at high speeds. As RPMs climb, the spark fires earlier to make sure the explosion gives the piston the biggest push at just the right moment. Diesel engines can't really do this. They rely on compression to ignite the fuel, which means the bang happens when the air is fully compressed, always at the same point. While they have some control over when they inject the fuel, the window is tiny compared to a petrol engine's ignition advance. This is why diesels often run out of steam right where petrol engines start to get exciting. On top of all that, diesel fuel actually burns slower than petrol. At super high RPMs, the piston would be moving so fast that the slow-burning diesel flame would essentially miss its chance to push down effectively. The piston would already be too far down its path, and the engine would actually make less power. But don't think this is a failure. Diesels don't rev high because they don't need to. They get all their work done at low RPMs. This might mean a narrower power band, but it comes with a huge benefit: longevity. Those heavy internals and low red lines mean diesel engines wear out much, much slower. We all know engine wear skyrockets with RPM, and that's why, on average, a diesel engine will outlast a petrol one. Now, let's talk about compression ratios. Imagine your engine's cylinder. When the piston is at the very bottom, that's the largest volume. When it's at the top, that's the smallest volume. The ratio between these two is the compression ratio, and it's a super important number. Diesels have a much higher compression ratio than petrol engines. If you look at the combustion chamber of a petrol engine, it's a carved-out space in the cylinder head. But for a diesel, that space would be too big. So instead, they carve a bowl right into the top of the piston itself. This creates a much smaller minimum volume, and therefore a higher compression ratio. Why is higher better? Think of it like setting off a firecracker in a small room versus a huge warehouse. The walls of the small room will take way more of a hit because they be closer to the explosion. Same idea in an engine. The more you squeeze the air and fuel, the more powerful the bang, and the more force you apply to the piston. This means more power and better efficiency. So, why don't petrol engines just use super high compression ratios too? In one word, knock. In a petrol engine, the spark plug is supposed to be the only thing that starts the combustion. If the air-fuel mix ignites on its own somewhere else, that's knock. It creates massive pressure spikes that can destroy an engine. Petrol engines compress both air and fuel together, so if they compress it too much, it can self-ignite. That's why they have to keep compression lower. Diesels, on the other hand, only compress air. There's no fuel in there to spontaneously combust. Fuel is only injected right when it's time for the bang. No knock to worry about. So how does all this lead to diesels being torque monsters and petrols being horsepower kings? Torque is just force applied at a distance. Think about using a wrench. You apply force with your hand, and the length of the wrench is the distance. A longer wrench gives you more torque. In your engine, the combustion is the force, and the crank and connecting rod assembly is like the wrench. Because diesels have that long stroke we talked about, they have a longer wrench. And because of their high compression, they create a more powerful force. More force and more distance equals way more torque. So what's horsepower? It's just torque multiplied by RPM. Petrol engines make less torque, but they can rev much, much higher. By doing less work, but doing it much more often over the same period, they end up producing more horsepower. Petrol engines are okay on efficiency, turning about 20 to 35% of fuel energy into motion. The very best ones might hit 38%. The rest? Just wasted heat. Diesels, on the other hand, are the efficiency kings, easily reaching 40 to 45%. So, what's their secret? First, it's all about pressure. Diesels use a much higher compression ratio. They squeeze the air and fuel mixture harder, wringing out more power from the same amount. The second reason is that they're just plain thrifty with fuel. To burn perfectly, petrol needs a specific air-to-fuel ratio, about 14.7 to 1. This is called the stoichiometric ratio. Go above that with more air, and you have a lean mixture. Less air, and it's a rich mixture. Petrol engines flip-flop. They run lean when you're cruising or idling, but when you put your foot down, they have to run rich to deliver power, especially with a turbo. Diesels are different. They always run lean. Always. At idle, a modern diesel can have an air-fuel ratio of 160 to 1. That's a massive amount of air for a tiny bit of fuel. Even at full throttle, they stay on the lean side. This leads to a fundamental difference in how they make power. In a petrol car, when you press the accelerator, you're opening a valve called a throttle body, letting more air in. The car's computer then adds the right amount of fuel to match. In a diesel, pressing the pedal directly controls how much fuel is injected. More fuel means more power. Simple as that. You might see a throttle-like valve on a modern diesel, but that's actually for its emission system, not for controlling power. So why don't petrol engines just run super lean like diesels? Well, they can't. In a petrol engine, fuel and air are mixed evenly, a homogeneous mixture. Running that too lean creates extreme heat and can cause engine knock, which is damaging. Diesels use a heterogeneous mixture where fuel is injected into the air and doesn't mix perfectly. This allows them to run incredibly lean without issues. And there's one more thing, the fuel itself. Diesel fuel is made of longer hydrocarbon chains than petrol. It's more energy dense. Gallon for gallon, diesel packs about 15% more energy. But efficiency isn't everything. Let's talk money. Diesel cars are usually more expensive to buy, both new and used. The engines are more complex and costly to build. Plus, things are changing. After scandals and growing environmental awareness, taxes and laws are hitting diesels hard in many places, which can hurt their resale value. The old rule still applies: if you don't drive a lot of miles, the fuel savings of a diesel might not be enough to offset its higher costs. A petrol car could be the smarter financial choice for shorter commutes. What about emissions? For a long time, it was seen as a trade-off. Diesels produce less planet-warming CO2 but more health-harming nitrogen oxides and soot. But modern tests show the CO2 gap is actually pretty small. And thanks to complex systems like diesel particulate filters and exhaust fluid injection, modern Euro 6 diesels are surprisingly clean, removing over 90% of those harmful particles. When they're new and well-maintained, both engine types are pretty clean. The problems start as they get older. The emissions equipment on a diesel is incredibly expensive to replace. A new particulate filter on a 10-year-old car could cost up to 30% of the car's total value. This tempts some owners to find cheaper, less effective ways to just pass an emissions test, meaning the car could be polluting heavily the rest of the year. Also, building a heavier, more complex diesel engine creates more pollution during manufacturing, though they do tend to last longer. Finally, the fun factor. This is subjective, of course. On a tight, twisty road, a high-revving petrol engine with its wider power band and thrilling sound is hard to beat. It might deliver fewer miles per gallon, but it definitely gives more smiles per gallon. Diesels are also heavier, which can throw off a car's handling balance, making a front-wheel drive diesel more prone to understeer. But don't write diesels off. That massive wave of low-end torque is incredibly addictive. It feels effortless. Plus, their amazing fuel range makes them unbeatable for long-distance road trips and off-road adventures. So there you have it. Each has its strengths and weaknesses. Hopefully, this helps you understand the key differences and which one might be right for you. Thanks for watching.